if you like your knife to do this, this is the video for you. Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here coming at you from the Knife Center, and it's our favorite time of the week. Got the coolest new knives that just hit our shelves right here in front of me. So let's check them out. All right, the first thing up this week is this Spyderco, the JaniSong. It is here, $235 and some change for this, and it is sort of a hybrid between a butterfly knife / balisong and a more normal thing. Because rather than two handles, you've got a kind of sub handle that would be like the bite handle on a balisong under or kind of nested in the main body of the knife. Very interesting.
So it's a subliner.
Almost. One could say. I don't know if one should, but one could.
I'm gonna.
In practice, you may not be able to do the same kind of like spinny, flippy tricks that balisong folks can do with this, but you can, open and close it like a conventional balisong. You have to kind of hold your fingers a little bit differently than you might a standard bally, just to make sure everything slots back in nicely. But as you can see, it can be done, even with my very rudimentary bally skills right there. It also can lock into that open position right there. So it is very unlikely for the handles to then come apart and start to close on you. But even then, there's a stop on this blade. It at no point goes further than the standard open position. So it doesn't fold the edge towards your fingers at all, which is kind of nice. You can flick it closed. See, I haven't actually checked to see if this switch works in the closed position. It also works in the closed position, as we can see. So it's not gonna fly out that way either. Let's talk materials. We've got G10 for the handles there and S30V for the steel. The blade length is about 3.3 thereabouts. Not super thin, but you do have a full flat grind on that. Kind of a decent general purpose geometry on this knife. Pocket clip is deep carry. It's a bit on the thin side, as you can see. It is reversible for either side. Interestingly, in the open position, it sits where for a right-handed person, where a right side or a right-hand carry clip would normally sit on any other normal folder. But in the closed position, it's kind of more left hand. You pull it, you gotta rotate it, and then go to open it. I don't know. Your mileage may vary, of course. Here they are. Not sure how long these are gonna last. At the time we're filming this, we do have some, and we are working on getting more. So if this video goes up and they are out of stock, if the website says discontinued, doesn't mean they're discontinued, it just means we don't have any. We're working on getting more. Next up, before I talk about another knife, I actually want to talk about this stroppy looking thing right here. This is from Nano. This is the Truer, and it looks like a strop, but these aren't leather pieces on either side of this. These are, it's sort of intended to replace a strop or replace that sort of step without the give that leather can give you, because these are diamond resin abrasive plates, which is pretty cool. It's about 48 bucks, made in the USA, set on an aluminum handle right there. Very lightweight overall. And you've got a medium and a fine size. That's 50 and 3 microns respectively. The green side here, the medium, should give a slight toothiness to your edge. Get it back to hair shaving with the fine side right there. And it is designed to work like a strop. Take your blade and draw it edge away, not edge in when you're going through. So pretty cool new product. I'm happy we're carrying them. Seems pretty neat. Check it out. 48 bucks.
Matches your shirt.
It does match my shirt. That's cool. Oh, actually, it really does nicely coordinate, doesn't it? Very nice. Haven't used this much yet, but we are going to be using it around here at the office. I'm eager to get some more miles under it. Next up, we've got a couple of fixed blades, several fixed blades, more fixed blades. Last week, I think we had one. The last video, 2 weeks ago, the last one I was in, we had one fixed blade. The world needs more fixed blades. Well, we have some. Two knives here, kind of similar vibes in a way. Two different price points, of course. Well, not of course, but two different price points. And the first is the MaxHunter from Kronos Knives. This is a Ken Onion design, as you can see right there. And even though Hunter's in the name, and it's with a 4.84 inch blade with this type of clip point style. It's certainly hunting capable. In my mind, what it reminds me of more is like the Pilot's survival knife. You know, the old like Ontario product with the stacked leather handle, you know, clip point blade with the fullers like this, about this length. This is significantly better built, feels way more premium than that old Ontario knife, which unfortunately is no longer made anymore. But this one is coming in at about $200. Made in the USA, feels, like I said, a lot more premium overall. The blade is nice. Thickness-wise, looks about 3/16 of an inch right there. 1095 carbon steel. We've got a PVD coating on it, mid-height flat grind on it. Nice swedge, nice fuller, really cool vibes overall. Handles are G10, two-tone as you can see, black liner layers and coyote outer layers. Nice ergonomics with sort of a diamond-like pattern engraved into it. Little bit on the round side, but not too bad. It feels really, really nice. Engages with the hammer grip there quite nicely. Or sorry, wait, yeah, saber grip quite nicely. That's your hammer grip right there. Inverted grip is quite nice. Reverse grip also feels really good. I like it all, man. Good general purpose knife. Hunting, outdoor, tactical, pilot's survival, you name it. Oh, let's talk about the sheath. It is Kydex. It comes with, actually this looks very Tops-like in its style right here. That retention clip right there that can be used as a belt loop. You can carry it inside the waistband too with these, but it's primarily designed for belt carry. It is rotatable, which is nice. I wonder if Tops is making these for the Kronos team. Not sure. Not trying to start any rumors, I'm genuinely not sure. Let's check the fit of the whole pattern. If you wanted to carry it in a different way, CIVIVI's T-clip would work. I don't see an obviously Tech-Lock compatible hole spacing on here. Let's check a small Tech-Lock, even though these are unfortunately discontinued. There's plenty of them still out there. Yeah, that doesn't quite work either. The CIVIVI T-clip, however, will work quite nicely since you've got a slot right there. If you wanted to throw one of these on it instead of the included hardware there, you've got that option. Next up is the Kizer Ursa Major. Significantly less expensive. It is not made in the USA, however. It's about $70 right now. Comes in 4.5 inch blade, AEBL stainless, which is really cool stuff. It is stainless, which nice. Like there are advantages to that, of course. But it's also incredibly tough, this steel. It's way tougher than simple carbon steels that you'll often find on stuff like that old Ontario, for example, or this Ken Onion knife for that matter as well. Edge retention is not super steel levels, but I've always been really happy with AEBL's edge retention. It's one of my favorite non-particle metallurgy steels, if not my favorite, quite honestly. Cool shape. That's technically a clip point. It's almost verging on drop point territory, but that is a straight line from the apex there down to the tip. Saber height flat grind. Geometry looks about 5/32 of an inch. It's a little bit thinner than that Kronos we just looked at. Handle is G10 and is thinner too, and ergonomically it's fine compared to the previous knife. However, it definitely it doesn't kind of live up to the same kind of joyous feel in the hand, but it's fine. I might knock this corner down just a little bit, but that's easy to do with a little bit of sandpaper. But yeah, anyway, thumb scallops here at the front if you want to engage in some other types of pinch type grips. You've got lanyard points here in the front, 2 in the back technically, and a 1/4 inch hex driver there at the back as well on the protruding pommel. Pommel might be crisp enough to strike a fire steel. The spine section up here is definitely crisp enough to strike a fire steel. But you could use this for other like camping type tasks, like scraping out bowls and scraping tinder, that sort of thing. There's a micarta version as well, in addition to a black G10 sheath. Here is Kydex, and it comes with the compact dots style attachment here, which means it does have a Tech-Lock compatible hole spacing, which is quite nice. $70 too, really good value there. Probably the biggest news this week, and the biggest news in fixed blades for sure this week, is the Kizer Drop Bear fixed blade. It is here. This is coming in about $60 for this one, about $55 for the other two, which I'll get to in a minute. But this is kind of the classic drop bear blade shape right here. 2.6 inches, 14C28N blade steel, which, history lesson here real quick, AEBL, on the previous Kizer we looked at, is or Sandvik copied AEBL to make 13C26. 14C28N is a slight modification on 13C26 to make it a little bit more stainless, through the primarily through the addition of nitrogen, I believe was the difference there. So, one could posit, and you wouldn't be far off, that toughness and edge retention should be fairly similar to AEBL here, but maybe slightly more stainless. There you go. Sure. That's your history lesson for today. Dark, kind of a gray stone wash finish on the drop point blade here. Nice and thin, high flat grind. You've got jimping out near the tip, so you could do that fingertip stuff right there. Under the thumb as well, kind of that classic drop bear long stretch of jimping. Standard grip here is kind of it's a 3-finger grip for my slightly larger than average hands, but they do give you this lanyard fob there at the back, which means you could choke back. Well, or even in a standard grip, you've got that pinky for a little extra retention. You can choke back a little bit, hold on to that fob there, control the knife with your leading fingers. You get a little more reach for opening boxes, using the tip, that sort of thing. And I would kind of go back if I wanted more grip as opposed to forward. The finger choil here, although it is jimped, is on the smaller side, especially, you look at my size fingers right there. It doesn't really work out for me too well. Could get a fingertip in there if I'm careful, but that is an option. There's a surprise. You ready for the surprise? Toothpick and tweezers, metal in both cases, here in the back of that full tang construction right there. So there you go. That's another little handy, cool little thing. Sheath is Kydex, same 2-row, or compact dots attachment there. Doesn't come equipped or set up as a pocket fixed blade per se. This is a belt attachment, but very easy and a nice size for converting to a pocket fixed blade, I would say. So I will. We've also got 2 new blade shapes. I say new, even though the whole knife is new, but we didn't see these blade shapes on the standard drop bear. We have this clip point version right here. Interestingly, going back to AEBL on this one as opposed to 14C, and $55 right here. Same 2.6 inches long. This is definitely the least slicey of the bunch, maybe the most kind of, I hesitate to call it a hard use knife in any case because it's fairly thin steel. But even though it's fairly thin, the AEBL, like I said, is tough. And we've got a very stout flat grind on this knife. Or is that hollow, actually? No, it feels flat. Yeah, no, that's a flat grind. So not super slicey, or not as slicey as the other versions. A little more tough, perhaps, if you're wanting to use this, a little more roughly or indiscriminately. Black canvas on this one as opposed to the burlap. The other option is the sheep's foot version right here. Also $54 or $55 with AEBL. Kind of splitting the difference in terms of slicing geometry between the drop point and the clip point. Higher flat grind than the clip point, but not as high as the drop point. But a great utilitarian box cutter style of blade with this option for sure. OD Green G10. Very cool. I'm excited by these. I love small fixed blades. You folks probably know this. Moving on. We have some more. I like it. What can I say? I get happy. Sometimes when I really like a thing and I get happy and I don't know what else to say because it's just like, hey, these are cool.
Doesn't stop you saying things.
Hey, these are cool. Next up, we've got the Parakeet from Kizer. Back to this is probably the first, that's a pocket knife, but folding pocket knife, kind of standard style folding pocket knife that people are waiting for. Anyway, this is the Parakeet. 2 versions, or several versions of this, but with 2 blade shapes. We've got the modified Wharncliffe.
Nah.
We have the modified sheep's foot right here. We're calling this a drop point on the site. I'd say in use, it's probably going to behave more like a modified Wharncliffe, but what are you gonna do? This sheep's foot version here has an acrylic set of handles here. It's about 56 bucks. 2.5 inches, 2.46 to be exact, Nitro V. Interestingly, going back to history lessons here, Nitro V is another derivation or modification of 13C26, just like 14C28N was. Similar performance to 14C28N. Some would say a little tougher, but I don't know. It's all in the family with Kizer this week.
It's a weird tree.
It is a weird family tree, but hey, what are you gonna do? We've got a button lock on this. Sorry if I'm boring people. Anyway, button lock, nice snappy action with the thumb studs right there. It is a smaller knife. It's 3 finger grip for me. There's enough space there though where I could definitely choke up and just barely get a 4-finger grip without encroaching on the edge too much. So if I needed to push it a little harder, I could, but be careful given the small size of this one, I would say. That's pretty cool. I just noticed something. Many plunge locks like this will have a spring internal to the button itself, but as you can see here, this is kind of, actually, wait a minute, hang on now. This is not quite a button lock. This is more like a button actuated compression lock. Because you can see the liner right there. I can see the tab poking in right there. You've got the stop pin on the upside of it. Yeah, this is a button operated compression style lock. We can't call it a compression lock because that's a Spyderco name, of course. That's really cool. I'm glad they made the handles see-through. I might not have noticed that, which would have been embarrassing. Now you all know it anyway. Geez, this is silly. This is getting really silly. Let's check out the drop point version here. This one has aluminum handles, non-see-through, but the same lock style going on. Same blade length, just a slightly different shape going on. Let's see, can we reverse flick this with the blade cutout right there? Yes, we can. That is cool. Harder to do sometimes on smaller knives, at least for me, so that's cool to see. Reversible deep carry pocket clip rounds things out with this knife. Yeah, just a cool small utility knife right there. Next up from Kizer, we have the Gecko Customs Crest frame lock right here. This is a more premium option from Kizer, but not astronomically expensive, about 150 bucks. Blade is just over 3 inches long, modified sheep's foot, hollow grind with an S35VN steel on there. It's not a super aggressive hollow, it's a little on the milder side, but that's gonna keep the edge, or the geometry behind the edge nice and thin. Get that nice shimmer off of it. Titanium handles with a milled clip. I like the shape of that titanium, not just a flat slab. Sits in my hand pretty nicely. 4-finger grip just for me, sitting on the outside of that area there. And it's a frame lock. We've got thumb studs, which work great. Yeah, it works really well, really nice and snappy. And the flipper, of course, works nicely too. That sort of harpooned sheep's foot blade style there gives you a little bit of a thumb ramp to push off on if you're pushing that blade a little bit harder. But just kind of a more elegant yet still hardworking feeling EDC going on here. The Crest. Next up, we've got a bunch of wee CIVIVI Sencut stuff to end the video with. The first is the Gavco Knives designed Sixgill right here. It's nicely done, 63 bucks, 3.4 inches of Nitro V steel, really cool. The website calls it a reverse Tonto.
Cheese.
That's kind of cheese knifey actually. I like the swoop to it. It looks very nice, no matter what you call it. Again, Nitro V steel. Satin finish going on. Ivory G10 on this one. A couple different flavors are available. There is micarta as an option. Get to the page here. What is it? Green micarta with a black stonewash blade, black G10 with a satin blade, or Giborsha wood with a Damascus blade. Always a good look. But that's not the one we have right now, is it? Handle length here. I can just get all 4 of my fingers on that knife, no problem. The blade itself is how long? 3.41 inches, if I didn't mention that already. Crossbar lock. nice. It's a little bit heavier of a spring action than something like the Yonder. That knife is from CIVIVI is known to have kind of a light spring action. This one feels a little bit heavier, which is kind of nice. And there is some sort of finger choil area to choke up on if you wish. Again, for me, it's just a little bit on the small side, but it's a little more generous than the drop bear fixed blades we looked at earlier. Again, fingertip for me is nice for getting in there. Yeah, very cool, very cool. Deep carry pocket clip, reversible, all around. Next up, we have the Anaaki from CIVIVI. It's a button lock flipper with this really cool milled aluminum handle, giving you that kind of buttressy look going on, skeletonized, whatever you want to call it. 2.98-inch blade, Nitro V, just about $89 and a little bit of change for this knife. Feels like a higher end knife for sure. That's kind of where at the top end of some of CIVIVI's lineup, they really do feel like they're reaching into kind of like the next tier of quality, which is pretty cool. It's stylish, but still going to be certainly useful for an everyday carry. For me, it's almost a 3.5 finger grip, but I'm kind of slipping off the back. So for me, it's only really a 3 finger grip. I can kind of squeeze up on it. It feels bigger than a 3 finger knife though, I gotta say, at least for me. Your mileage will certainly vary. I think smaller handed folks will definitely, if you can get all 4 fingers on there, if you have real small hands, got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's the way it might be ideally set up. But for me, it just doesn't quite work out that way, even though it feels fine. Let's check out the action. It's a CIVIVI button lock, which means it feels good. Surprise, surprise. Reverse flick is quite nice. Reversible deep carry clip, rounding things out. Damascus blade is also available in this series, in addition to several different colors on that aluminum right there. Next up from Knife Company, the parent company of CIVIVI, we have the Sylox. Big boy right here, 3.8-inch blade of M390. Prices start at about $308 for these. This particular one is about $314.5. It's exactly $314.5 right now. You can check out all the versions down below. There's a Damasteel version, about $760. Sounds way up there. But that's got mother of pearl inlays, actually. Those look really cool. But I didn't pull one for the video today. Apologies all around. Again, almost a 4-inch blade, cool compound grinds on this drop point. They're actually really hard to see, but they are there. Yeah, it's kind of swooping way out here. So you got hollow grind, flat swedge, fuller, nice glossy satin or glossy style of like satin finish on the flats right there. Really cool. The inlays on this one are aluminum foil carbon fiber, and we've got another nice little detail right there around the pivot. Looks like Damascus right there. Very cool. Milled pocket clip, lanyard attachment point, button lock for the flippering action, which, as expected, again, works great. Let's try reverse flick out of that fuller. That worked really nicely. You could, of course, do a slow roll with the thumb open on that fuller as well. Big, nice, full-size knife, but still really good slicing geometry on that blade. It's not a thick, chunky thing. It's made to feel like a race car. Probably an apt description, I'd say. Next up, we have the Winsome, and it is indeed that. This version is about $353 with the lava flow fat carbon inlays and this polished gray titanium. I love that finish. Like, we've seen them do this on a couple other knives, and it just looks really cool because it's not flat. There's character to that finish, almost like a shimmering graphite in its nature. That's a good way to describe it, I think. I like it. I like it a lot. Prices on this series start at just under $300, it looks like, for a couple of the slightly simpler versions, and up to $754 for a Damasteel version. That one also comes with Damascus, full Damascus inlays front and back, so that's really cool. Blade length is 3.74, almost at 5, M390 steel, high flat grind with a long swedge, very neutrally appointed handle, so big hands or small hands are gonna work. You can choke there off the back without anything getting in the way. You can choke up, get some finer control when you need to. Blade geometry, again, is not too thick, so it's gonna be pretty darn slicey. No screws on the milled pocket clip visible from the outside. It mounts from the inner portion, which is cool. Floating backspacer and lanyard point attached in that backspacer as well. You can access it there from the back. It's pretty cool. Frame lock, front flipper, top flipper. That works well, I say, as I slip off of it a little bit. It works nicely. Thumb studs also work very, very well. For the more budget conscious, we have the Awassi. 42 bucks and some change for this Sencut knife right here. The bottom rung of the three-tiered or three-pronged CIVIVI Sencut approach. But bottom rung doesn't mean bottom of the barrel. These things are still built quite nicely, honestly. 42 bucks and some change for this one, $39 for the G10 versions, however. So you can save a little bit there, $3.25 there if you want to. The wood is nice though. 9CR series stainless here. We have got a full sheep's foot style blade, nice high hollow grind on it as well. That's going to give you a very, very fine tip for piercing needs right there. And it's got all of the other, what I used to call CIVIVI's greatest hits, but we've been seeing them kind of doing this on the Sencut lineup. We've got a liner lock, we've got a reversible deep carry clip, we've got ball bearings in the pivot, and in this case we have both flipper and thumb studs. The flipper feels really good. Yeah, the actions on these are, or the action on this one at least, is really, really dialed in. Big enough handle there for a full grip, almost a 3.5-inch blade, so you've got tons of real estate to work with as well. That is pretty nice. Lot of knife for that kind of money, for sure. And last but not least, we've got a CIVIVI kitchen knife from Oh Stop Hell. This is the Cibus. They are roughly 8 inches long, about 7.9 or so. $76 and 14C 28N blade steel. Remarkably thin blade stock. That is my favorite thing about this. You've got a high flat grind and a full length swedge and a crown spine. Just some really, really nice details for some kitchen cutlery. G10 handles, green in this case. And what's nice here, especially when dealing with something that you're going to be getting, food prep on, internal fasteners, internal pins here. There's no, nowhere for juices to get in that way. I wonder, I don't know if these are like epoxy sealed shut as well. I hope they are, because if so, that is a really, really nice consideration for cleanliness overall. Definitely. Balance is pretty darn good. And by that I mean it is neutral right there, which is going to make longer sessions using this knife on a cutting board quite nice. It is more of a push cut rather than a rock cutting knife. This edge from the heel to almost like way out here is completely flat, so it does kind of like clunk on a cutting board if you're used to this type of cutting motion. But if you're more of a push cutter like this, it's less of a concern. It's going to give you full contact with the cutting board. I know people appreciate that as well. So to each their own. There are two different styles, of course, of dealing with that. Really cool. Good price, good materials. Definitely a nicer steel than you're going to find in other similarly priced kitchen knives, that's for sure. And that's all we've got to show for today, folks. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. And of course, to get your hands on any of them, check out the links in the description, which will take you to KnifeCenter.com. Where thanks to our new Sezzle payment options, you can break up the payment chunks on some of these more expensive knives if you like. And don't forget about our Knife Rewards program so you can earn some free money to spend on a future purchase. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's Thomas behind the camera. We're signing off. See you next time.